Hey everybody, thanks for joining me as I take a look at another stack of metal releases. And the first two I'm going to look at have a couple things in common. Basically, they are recommendations from the Dead by Dog channel. I love that channel. Just that mixture of humor and extreme metal talk is exactly what I'm looking for. And both releases have been released on Hell's Headbangers Records. So we're going to start off with All Your Friends Are Dead by Hideous Manglius. Again, this was put out on Hell's Headbangers in late 2025. And Hideous Manglius formed in 1989. And this album would initially be released in 1996 with, I believe, a slightly different cover. Like the members of the band covered in blood, but the picture was a little different, and I think the color scheme. And I remember seeing this picture in particular, though. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the pages of Metal Maniacs back in the day, probably in Thomas Pascal's independent label report. But in any case, Hideous Manglius, and this is actually their one and only full-length album, by the way. And are they still together? Kind of. We'll talk about that in a second. But musically, this is a mixture of death metal, grindcore, and punk. Although overall, I did enjoy it. It's a little too heavy on the punk for my taste. I don't know how long the album is actually. I didn't look it up, but it feels kind of long. But I think my favorite song on here is probably Child Funeral. They have some pretty cool samples at the beginning, middle, and end of the album. At first I thought it was from a movie. I'm not too sure. I think I saw somewhere online that it was just it sounds like a movie sample made for the album. But we'll get back to them in a minute. Next up, Several Severed Heads by Exploding Zombies. Another J-Dog recommended album on Hell's Headbangers, also in 2025. Really like that disc print there. It's really cool. It's a band picture. This one was a little bit more up my alley. They're a Michigan-based death metal band. I have seen them referenced as gore grind, but I don't really hear it that way. I think a gore grind is like Old Carcass cranked up to 10. This is more straight up death metal with grindy parts throughout. This is their second full-length album, initially released in 2000. I don't think the band has ever broken up, but they have not released new material since this release, 26 years ago at this point. My favorite songs come near the end. I like the title track, Devour the Village, and the closer, Thorn, Blasting Circle was pretty cool too. And I think they actually were, they don't sample the Halloween theme, but they're, musically playing it at a couple points throughout the song. So, both of these bands, Hideous Manglius and Exploding Zombies, I have a good chance of seeing them both live this coming summer. Because, I'm wearing my Dead by Dog shirt here. I went to Dead by Dog Volume 1. And there's a 75% chance I'm going to go to Dead by Dog Volume 2. And a 25% chance that I go to Ohio Death Fest, which is the day before at the same venue where Exploding Zombies will be performing. Now, the Hideous Manglius performance is not going to be under the name Hideous Manglius. I guess all these guys are still friends, but some of them cannot be part of the project. So for this live performance, it's going to be called Sam Biles and Friends. Sam Biles is the frontman of the group, and I mentioned in my Dead by Dog video, I saw him at the first Dead by Dog show, and the only reason I knew that is because he was literally standing right in front of me during the Rotrevor set, and then Rotrevor gave him a shout out, so that's how I put the face to the name. But anyways, two cool releases, and two bands I hope to see in several months' time. Next up, Destroyer 666, Call of the Wild, EP from 2018. 4 songs. The closing one, Trial by Fire, is a re-recording of an older song from the Terror Abraxas EP, which I think came out in like the early 2000s, maybe around the Cold Steel era, to my recollection. The song Violence is Golden is pretty cool, but the 2 standouts to me are Stone by Stone and Call of the Wild. They really outline the band's change in style, gone through kind of more extreme metal to blackened thrash to, at this point, they are basically a blackened heavy metal band. A couple weeks ago, I bumped into an old coworker at the record store who likes kind of mainstream metal, and we were talking, having a bit of a debate, and I was saying, metal is about the riffs. It doesn't have anything to do with choruses, it's about the riffs. But I'll tell you what, Destroyer 666, they got them both. Stone by Stone and Call of the Wild, those are 2 extremely memorable, strong choruses on an extreme metal release. Don't hear that very often. Love these guys. And the last full-length album, I basically streamed 2 times and haven't really thought much about it since, so it's probably about time I check out the last Destroyer 666 LP. And finally, All Empires Fall by Tombs. I did a Tombs ranking a number of months ago. I have all the full-length albums, but I've never been a real EP guy. But I did decide to pick this up at the record store about a month ago. And you have 5 songs on here. The first one, The World is Made of Fire, is more of a brief intro, but at first I was thinking, I don't need an intro on an EP, but those riffs were sounding mighty tasty right there, and then you keep going. I mean, when this first came out in 2018, my favorite song was Deceiver. It kind of highlights the more hardcore element of Tombs' sound, but so just something about that riff was just so simple but effective. So my favorite songs is either that one or The Closer. I'm not sure if it's 5 or V. But, concerning the 5th song, it's probably called 5. And that one was kind of like a step in the past to the first Tombs album with that blackened post-metal style. And real strong representation here. It's just on black vinyl, as is the Destroyer 666, which I didn't take out yet. That's it for me today, and I'll see you next time.